Tokyo. We've got two competitors here. This is Dumplings, and in this episode we're not just gonna unbox these, we're gonna eat them and then compare which one is actually better. Now this is on the heels of a new release video that just went up yesterday. I went to a gyoza factory that's on YouTube right now. You definitely check this out because it's one of these episodes that will make you extremely hungry. Here's a preview of it right here.
Evenly into the wrapper. It can hold a lot of pork filling.
You can see inside of the factory, it's just incredible to see the process. Them making the gyoza and then eating it. That's what I love about this kind of content, making these kinds of episodes. So hopefully if you are have some free time after this live stream, go check it out and leave me a comment on it, because it encourages me to do more of these kinds of episodes where I take you behind the scenes and then show you something really interesting. Now I put it over here. Now I filmed this in March of 2023, so that was like 7 months ago. So I even look different filming in the studio there, but in the factory there. But definitely, like Miyazaki versus Hamamatsu versus Utsunomiya is a thing. People just love gyoza. They love to eat it for lunch. They love it as a side dish. They love it as a main course. And let's get into this because that's what you were here for. I'm actually drooling. The smell is incredible. Now I asked 7-Eleven and Family Mart to heat this up for us, and they did. It didn't take them a lot. Didn't take them a lot to want to do that for me either. You just say "atatameru no? Atatamasu ka? Atatame de kudasai" toka, and they did it. All right, I'm taking this down here so we can unbox these. Yeah, just in time for dinner. Andy's taxes are here. Hey, thank you and welcome. All right, so the first one we're going to open up here just to take a quick look at it is the 7-Eleven. Let's do this first. Now they come with a pack of tare. This is tare and rayu. Rayu is a chili oil. Here, let me get this off of the screen here. There you go. So rayu is a chili oil right here, and it gives a little bit of a punch. You don't have to actually use it. Kids typically don't like it, but the tare is definitely something you should eat with it. It just gives it a little bit saltiness, a little bit more saltiness to it. Oh, they microwaved it and they left it open here. Wow! And look at that. There's a little space for the tare, but it has some condensation on here. There's like some water in here because of the condensation from the gyoza. These look pretty good. 5 dumplings. That's a pretty good number one. Number 2. This is the Family Mart one. Again, this came with chopsticks and the pack of rayu right here. It looks about the same. In fact, I think they might even be exactly the same. No, the rayu on the 7-Eleven one is a little bit darker, so it looks a little more concentrated. But that doesn't mean much. All right, let's open this up here. All right, obviously they look different. They look very different. These look a little soggy, but guess what? Guess what? There's 6 of them compared to 5. Is there a difference in the flavor? This is gonna be very interesting. Check it out. This is gonna be very interesting to do because we've got a different quantity. I didn't expect to have different quantity of gyoza. What? All right, let me go in here and get that rayu to the right place. This is the Family Mart one. So there's the tare, and here's some of the rayu. I usually just do like this. And you can see the chili oil is floating on the top there. And here's the 7-Eleven one. Now there was a liquid in here, and it might be just because got a little bit on the side. I got enough shibori to clean that up, don't worry. Alright, if I take it up here, I want to get a really good comparison here before we go in. Now there was some liquid in here from the condensation, and I didn't know if I should wash that out or leave that in there, so that might have diluted the tare, so that could be the one thing that goes against the 7-Eleven one. But obviously seeing the guts, the filling is going to be a big deal. Right now it looks like there's definitely a different color to them. This is fascinating. All right, so let's pick up one of each just to give it a quick look before we take a bite. All right, they're definitely softer here. So here's the first one. This is the 7-Eleven, and you can see it's definitely soggy. This is why I think microwaving the gyoza is not a great idea. You want to fry it yourself. But if you're just hungry for gyoza, it'll do the trick. Here's the Family Mart one. Oh, it's so delicate. Definitely smaller. I can tell when I pick it up. It's definitely smaller in scale and softer, believe it or not. It opened up pretty easily. Oh, I just ate the chopsticks. I just licked off the chopsticks. That is so good. All right, I'm gonna turn the camera around here, because we're doing this live in front of the sky tree is right there. Our audience. If you're in the sky tree right now, wave. I won't be able to see you, but not that counts. All right, let's give this a try. I'm pretty excited, and actually I'm really hungry, so it's a good thing. Who's in the house here? David Kimura, thank you, buddy. These gyoza have been sponsored by David Kimura. Thank you. All right, let's dig in here. All right, I'm gonna first go with the 7-Eleven one because I bought this one first, and it might be the one that's cooling off the quickest. All right, itadakimasu. Dip it in the tare. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Oh, big chunk of cabbage. That was good. All right, I'm gonna hold off my comments. But first, okay, first impression, could definitely taste the meat and the cabbage. It's pork. Not a lot of garlic. Maybe not a bad thing, because if you're eating this at a convenience store, you most likely are eating it at work, and no one wants to smell your garlic at the office. So there's a little bit in there, but it's not an overpowering one. That might be a good thing. All right, next up, Family Mart. Or as Peter calls it, manly fart. I don't know why he says that. Mmm. Pepper? Pepper? It's a little bit of pepper. Should I tell you the winner? I know the winner already. Before we do that, I want to show you the guts of the gyoza. This is the next step. Before I tell you who won, this isn't going to be an overly long live stream either. Let's keep it simple here. It is yeah, there's a clear winner here. Which one do you think it is in the comments? What do you guys think? Yoda Jedi says 7-Eleven. What do you guys think in the comments there? Oh, I think there was some pepper. All right, this is the Family Mart. Excuse me. And you can see here, let me do the main lens. I know what the oh, here's a better focusing distance. Now, the thing with the Family Mart one is, and this is the second one that I just ate, everyone's saying 7-Eleven in there. Nobody is picking Family Mart. I think that pepper is kicking back. The thing with the family ones that, okay, the top here, it has been grilled, and usually the grilled part of the kiji or the wrapper, I guess they call it in English, we would say, I guess, the skin, is that it is crunchy. That's the thing with grilled gyoza. But, you know, of course, when you microwave it, you're not going to get that grilled taste. All right. It's small, just slightly smaller, but the filling isn't as good. And that's the issue with the Family Mart one. The kiji or the wrapper has more of a bready taste to it as well, which is not bad, but I can't really taste any of the vegetables. All right. And the meat quality is okay. I mean, it tastes like a nikuman, really. It's like the same kind of pork that they probably used for a nikuman. And that's not great. I mean, I don't know. It's not ideal, I think. Now, the 7-Eleven gyoza, on the other hand, I think you know the winner already. It's 7-Eleven, all right? Oh, look at this. It's just obvious. Come down here where the lighting might be better. Look at the thick pieces of cabbage in there. I think that is some nira. Of course, it's not crunchy because it's been microwaved. It's the wrapper is not too bready, and this is a good thing. I thought that it was just a perfect amount of breadiness to it, or wrapperness to it. I don't know. You don't want to taste the wrapper too much, but the chunks of meat are significant. The chunks of vegetables and meat are significant in this. It looks healthier. Hands down, the winner. Oh, it's the winner. There's no comparison. All right. This episode is brought to you by David Kimura. Thank you, David. But it's also brought to you by me, because I'm here and I'm promoting this episode right here. Let's see if we can, get this to 100,000 views by the weekend. That would be really, really fun. I think we're gonna get there too. All right. In full disclosure, I also went to Lawson's, and I wanted to do the battle between the three big convenience stores. There's also a mini stop not too far away. And, if I do this again, it's going to be with the supermarkets or the frozen gyoza. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do with these comparisons. The great thing about gyoza dumplings is that it is, there's no limit to the amount of creativity that they can put into a dumpling. It's amazing. I don't even know where the limit is. Where does a dumpling become ravioli, for example? Like, is it just different wrapper? Like, I'm really fascinated with, does it have to be in tomato sauce? If you made a dumpling with cheese and put it in tomato sauce, does that turn into a ravioli? Right? I don't know. There's like all of these things here. If it's made in Japan, can they not, the ravioli need to be made in Italy? Or I don't know all this stuff. So, it's very fascinating to me, gyoza. You can make vegetarian or vegan gyoza. You can make just cheese gyoza. I remember somebody made a pizza gyoza. They put a little pepperoni, cheese, and tomato sauce in there, and they wrapped it up. No, it's gyoza. I guess it's whatever you want it to be. Maybe it's the shape of it. It looks like a fist. But when I asked in Miyazaki, they said that the third day of the month is gyoza day. I think it was the third. And I said, why would the third day of the month be gyoza day? I know that the 29th of the month is yakiniku day, because 2 is ni and 9 is ku. And if you put it together, you get niku, which is meat. So it'd be a grilled meat day. A lot of people go to eat yakiniku at the yakiniku restaurants. But she said, no. She says, because the gyoza looks like the number 3. It's like, what? And when you think about it, he goes, okay, I can kind of see that. I can kind of see how the gyoza could be also a telephone. It could also be the moon. So it could have a lot of different shapes, I suppose. But I thought there's a little bit of interesting cultural nuggets when it comes to gyoza in Japan. And the regionality of this dish is insane. Like, you travel around. If you go to the supermarkets locally, you'll be able to find local frozen gyoza. And gyoza is something that's very simple to make. if you're wondering where you get this in the United States or where you get this in the UK, it's like you can make it yourself. It's not that hard. It's just like flour and water and, you know, like to make the skin of it. It's not a rolling pin, all right? The next thing is the filling. It's basically pork, garlic, and you don't even have to use the same filling. Pork, garlic, chives, garlic chives, and cabbage. That's it. And they mix it into the meat. They put it in there. They close it up to about 19 to 20 grams. It depends on the size of the kiji or the wrapper that you make. You can make larger ones, but I would keep them small because they are dumplings. And you can make, you just pan fry them. Put a lid on them, throw some water in there. They used lard, which I hadn't seen since the 1970s at McDonald's. I remember the French fries were made in animal lard. Oh my gosh, the McDonald's French fries back in the day, if you were born after the 1990, you don't know what you're missing. The lard French fries at McDonald's were amazing. I still remember the taste of it, the smell and the taste in animal lard. I know it's not a popular thing, but I think they used Wagyu fat because Miyazaki's famous for Japanese Wagyu beef. I think she had some beef fat in there, maybe, and I don't know what it was. It could have been pork fat, but she grilled 6 of them in there, and it gave such an amazing crunchiness to the skin, and a flavor, a very meaty flavor to it, and as well as this, an aroma that was very pleasing. We don't use a lot of animal fat. It's not that healthy, so they say. But I thought that was fascinating. These gyoza are really good. Here, let's have another one here because it's like sitting in front of me and it looks too good. Mm. 7-Eleven for the win. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, Lawson's didn't have it. I did notice that they had inside of Family Mart. Check it out here. They had a lot of frozen gyoza too. Family Mart is amazing recently. Check this out. They had a premium gyoza, then they had regular pan-fried gyoza, then they had some ebi shumai in there. So they had a couple of other different frozen items that would be pretty good. They had some, nikuman, little Chinese dumplings over there on the left side, which are really good as well. So, I have to hand it to them. They're coming up with really good food, especially I think in Japan, people's tastes are getting used to having that premium stuff. They don't want to eat bad stuff anymore. People are becoming more health conscious, and I think YouTube has a big part in that. If you go on YouTube, you see so many conversations now about the food that we eat, and it's breaking the stranglehold that the food industry has on all of us. The ultra high processed foods and all this other stuff that we might probably still eat too much. I was fascinated with something I saw on YouTube where it said that 6 companies make like 90% of the food for the population. I'm like, what? That's crazy. I don't know if that is factually correct, but you hear this stuff and it makes you think, and you take everything with a grain of salt or some tare and chili pepper oil, but yeah, it makes you really think about the food that you eat and what's good and not good for you. And making gyoza at home and knowing the ingredients, or even the frozen gyoza, you can look on the label, and very often, if it's locally made, they don't add a lot of preserve. They don't add anything bad in there. It's what they just showed you. It's cabbage, it's chives, it's meat, or it's something else, and it's very good for you. So gyoza is a pretty healthy meal. And the thing in this episode, I kind of went in and talked about like gyoza gets I don't want to say a bad rap. It gets a different rap. It's considered a side item in Japan by the majority of people. It's not something that you would just eat by itself. Usually it's with something else. So if you're eating a Thanksgiving meal, having a side of gyoza, that's something you could make turkey gyoza. That's something that you could have actually the day after or on the table. Oh, we made some turkey dumplings. Just put a little bit of stuffing in there, a little bit of gravy in there, a little bit of turkey in there, maybe a pinch of cranberry sauce in there. You dumpling that up, pan fry it, I'm just saying, someone's got to do this. The Thanksgiving dumpling. I don't know if it's been done. You could even put the cranberry like sauce on top of it, or the gravy sauce on top of it. I think that could work, because the stuffing has it's kind of like the filling, you know. Let's see. Somebody does it. Stuff your turkey with gyoza. Yes, like that chicken wing gyoza that I ate in the episode. They had this wacky, like the concepts that they have in Japan are fascinating. They had a chicken wing. Miyazaki is very famous for the chickens. I made another episode on that as well. Chicken namban, which is hands down my favorite. It's top 5 Japanese cuisine. It's hard to put a ranking on any food here because it's all so darn good. But they took the chicken wing and somehow, I don't know, you have to check out the video. They stuffed gyoza filling into a chicken wing. I opened up the package and it's like, what is this? It's like alien parts. I'd never seen anything like it. It's like in this styrofoam box to keep it cold, so when you travel with it, it stayed cool on the flight back. I brought it back to Tokyo. I opened it up and like, look at this. It's like random chicken wings. It's like, what? You open up the plastic. That's not gyoza. And we had to bake them for 30 minutes or something. And oh my gosh, this was so good. I don't know if you can do this with like a drumstick or something, but if you can gyozafy your turkey, UFO Bob, you're onto something. Gyozafy the turkey, man. Whoa, that's some deep stuff. It's like mind blown. That's so deep, I'm gonna eat the rest of this Family Mart gyoza and bring me back to earth. $7-Eleven. Pepper. It tastes like the filling from a nikuman. It's not bad. 7-Eleven way better. I think that's why Family Mart has to make 6 of them, because if people are comparing, there's the people who want volume, they're gonna go with Family Mart. The same price, 300 yen, same price. Or 280 yen. Hold on. 304 yen for Family Mart. Hold on, this is kind of fascinating. Oh, that pepper's kicking. How much was it? 7-Eleven. It says so on the. Whoa! They always do this. 7-Eleven is 302 yen, and Family Mart's 304 yen. 2 yen cheaper. Just that might be enough to put 2 or 3% of people over the top with their gyoza eating. But the 7-Eleven, despite being 5 instead of 6, was far superior. Just the ingredients and the experience in your mouth, the dumpling skin. The more dumplings you eat, the more you can sense a good one and a bad one. And it's, I would say, all right, if I had to give it stars, 7-Eleven is a solid 7 out of 10. Family Mart is a 3 out of 10. So there wasn't really even close. We have in here, Jera Cervantes writes in here, turkey meat gyoza. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Turkey meat gyoza, and inside there maybe a little bit of stuffing, a little bit of cranberry sauce. So you have different, when you put it in your mouth, you get the entire Thanksgiving experience in one gyoza, in one dumpling. It's like a little galaxy in a wrapper. We could do this. All right, I ordered for Thanksgiving, and I'm thinking that I might bring this guy to you live. I don't know, I'll have to ask Kanai. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving in Japan. I mean, it's actually, technically, it's Friday morning because it's, U.S. has a 14-hour time difference now. But I ordered 3 Thanksgiving platters from Bubby's, which is a New York restaurant. And I'm so happy that they do this. They make 100 grams of turkey, 100 grams of ham, I think, or something, 100 grams of some other meat. So it's like a half kilo of food, which is pretty great. Or maybe it's more, I don't know. There's cranberry sauce on there, some stuffing, some mashed potatoes. It's about $23 a plate, $22 a plate, I think. But $20 with the exchange rate, but we still feel it. Like, it feels like $30 to me. It's 3,000 yen. And I got 3 of them, one for Kanai, me, and Leo. And maybe we'll live stream this a little bit to share Thanksgiving with you, with the family. It's not really a tradition here in Japan, but I thought it'd be pretty interesting. The problem is, I might just upload it then. The problem is the timing is not good. It's like 6 p.m., which is most of all of you are like in bed in the U.S. or something. It's like 4 a.m. U.S. time. But Thanksgiving here is not, we don't really know. And in fact, if I don't bring it up, I think a lot of people will just forget about it. It's very easy to do. It's just because nobody talks about it here. Michael Cesato's here. Aloha John. Okay, how about Kalua pork gyoza? Whoa, Hawaiian. Yes! That, my friend, is what we're going to have to try at the Hawaiian barbecue when we have that next time I come back. We're going to get some Hawaiian gyoza. Oh my gosh. Spam gyoza. There's no end to like what you could do. Apple-filled gyoza. You could do all of this. It's a dumpling. I don't know what qualifies as a dumpling though. Turkey is not popular in Japan. Chicken is. You rarely find turkey sandwiches. You don't find this in Japan very often, and that's unusual. You'll get turkey at Costco. You can find it. You get turkey at, there's a couple of stores. There's the National Azabu, which has turkey. That's downtown in Hiro, not far from Roppongi and Ebisu. That's where a lot of expats live. That's where a lot of the embassies are. So you get National Azabu. Usually, if it's a foreign food that's popular, they usually can get it. There's a delicatessens, a deli, international deli, where you can get like the turkey there. Where's that? That's not far from Tokyo Tower, in near Azabujuban, I believe. Yeah, I've gone there before. Nissin Deli, Nissan, I think it's called. I haven't been there in ages though. And there's a couple of shops. I mean, Japan has become way more internationalized over the last 10 years as a result of tourism booming, in particular the last 5 years. You couldn't get anything 20 years ago when I got here. Thanksgiving meal, I think Hard Rock Cafe had something. I lived in Nagoya. There was a Hard Rock Cafe, and that's where I got nachos. The first year I got here, I craved Western food. I made spaghetti a lot, but I shifted after about 3 months and moved into rice cooker because it was just cheaper to eat Japanese than Western all the time, or trying to eat Western. And eating, Japanese spaghetti with the tomato sauce is not very healthy back then. It was really bad quality. It was like survival. But once I learned how to use a rice cooker, back in 1998, I learned how to use the boil bag curries, and then I learned how to make the curry, and then you make a girlfriend who teaches you how to cook, and then you start cooking for her and everybody else, and then your friends come over and you have cooking parties. Then you learn how about nabe. So living in Japan, it really changes the way very quickly how you eat and your diet and everything. I'm probably a lot healthier as a result of living here in Japan. Pizza big in Japan? It is. It's getting bigger in popularity, but it's not nearly, it's competing against a lot of stuff. So it's not nearly as popular as gyoza, for example. Pizza is seen as a foreign food, and pizza-la, the delivery pizza places, have been around for a very long time, but they're too expensive. A pizza is equivalent to, I think a family would spend about $45 on pizza for one. $35 to $45, but they have lots of coupons and stuff. I've done episodes on this in the past, in particular during the pandemic, because there's a lot of other content. We had food delivered to us all the time. Yeah, we have here, Gara writes in here, I spent 8,000 yen on 2 medium-sized pizzas from Domino's. If you get a coupon, you can get that half off, or if you pick it up, you can get that 50% off. So there's ways to get your money back. I usually have a like 2 large pizzas for 50% off coupon or something like that. So they never had those deals before. This came about like 10 years ago as well. It used to be, yeah. I remember I learned how to make my own pizza with yeast and flour because pizzas were too expensive. But then I found that the cheese in Japan was ridiculously expensive. To get a bag of cheese was like, at the time, because the yen was so strong, much stronger than it is now, it came out to like $10 for a bag of cheese. Like $9-10 for a bag of cheese, and then when everything is said and done, it was like 2,000 yen for the ingredients for the pizza, and it was 4,000 yen to just buy one. So it's like, okay, I saved 50%, but then you got to make it and then clean it up. and makes you more tired. So what's the opportunity cost here? Was it worth it? Maybe. But it's always fun to cook and get your hands into it, and it really does clear the mind to cook for yourself. I think that's maybe why one reason why men don't live as long as women. I'm just putting this out there. Men don't cook enough, you know. I think we should, because when you cook, or at least cook together as a family, you forget about other stuff and you just focus on cooking, and it is really therapeutic. So I know in Japan, I'm not trying to be, you know, I'm not picking on one sex or the other, but in Japan, most bachelor men will go to the convenience store and that's their dinner, or they don't cook for themselves. Most. I'm talking about Japan, all right? So we need to cook more here. It's healthy. In general, most bachelors or bachelorettes don't cook much anyways. 2 cents writes in here, "Hi John, I'm coming back over in early 2024. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I'm sorry to hear that after I came back from Malaysia and Japan. Do you know of any ramen joints that offer protein-based low carbs as a noodle option?" That in particular, I'm not really sure, but you can just don't eat the noodles and order chashu steak. Just order more of the steak and less of the noodles, and you should be okay. Don't order the rice on the side, of course. When it comes to gyoza, there's the wrapper, and I have friends that don't eat the wrapper. They'll take a little bit of the wrapper, but they eat the contents and they leave the wrappers behind because they're also worried about carbs. So that's also something that you can consider. Just make sure you know what's in the gyoza before, and also keep in mind that soy sauce, the tare, has sugar in it. Yeah, soy sauce has sugar in it. A lot of people don't know that. It's a salty thing, but there's also a lot of sugar in soy sauce. I've been told this, so you have to look for low sugar soy sauce. Maybe you can bring your own. But ramen in general, you don't think about sugar, but carbs are sugar, and the noodles is a big deal. So you can find, there are some places with gluten-free noodles. I'm starting to see stuff. See, Japanese don't think in these trendy diets the same way that Westerners do. So you don't see gluten-free stuff, and you don't see like all these things very often. But because the population of Japan is shrinking and more tourists are coming here that are on these special diets, these options are coming in because there's a market for it now. So it's not a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. So you might be able to find it, but in particular, I don't know. I'm glad you asked this question because it's brought it to my attention. But I really don't know about it. Low carb stuff when it comes to noodles or gluten-free stuff. When you go into a ramen place or to a restaurant, you're going to a restaurant. You're not thinking about carbs. You do that at home. That's why you cook for yourself. Usually you go out because you don't want to think about those things. You just want to enjoy somebody else cooking delicious food. But again, like everything is changing here in Japan too. Just it's always like 5 to 8 years behind the U.S. Yeah. I like it as well, but as you can see, I've lost a lot of weight because I don't eat as much. I do the intermittent fasting. I usually eat around 2 p.m. Today a little bit earlier, and then I eat dinner at 5, and then I'm done for the day. 5 or 6 now, and then I'm done for the day, and I don't eat until the next day. And usually I eat a very small portion of rice, or for lunch I usually don't eat any bread or rice at all. So I just have stopped the carbs. No cola, no soda pop, no sugar, no added sugar, or very little of it. Saya brought me some Reese's peanut butter cups, so I have to admit I've been eating one of those a day. But I've also noticed that it is making me feel different eating it. I feel good after I eat it, and then I feel bad about it an hour later. So no more Reese's peanut butter cups for now. I don't know. I usually put them in the freezer. They're good for like a year, I believe. So Saya, thank you for that. Despite the diet. And Matsumi brought me some amazing stuff too, and I did snack on that. But Kanai's been eating most of that as well. What sugar in soy sauce? John writes in here. I was surprised too. There's sugar in a lot of stuff, but there's sugar in apparently there's sugar in the process of making soy sauce. It's not just, it's salty, but you can't taste the sugar, but it's in there. In particular in the U.S. because they put sugar in everything. Check the back of the ingredients. You probably find sugar in there. There's some that might have low sugar. That's why at the supermarket you'll see different kinds of soy sauces. In Japan, Kikkomen has like 20 different kinds of soy sauces, it looks like. Some of them are probably low sugar, low salt, things like this. And then there's the regular one, which has the stuff that you probably don't want, but tastes pretty good. Yeah. Any questions before I cut this out? My goal was 30 minutes for this. And then afterwards, please go check this out. I promise you, you're going to enjoy this episode. The next one I'm working on right now, which is where I'm going back tomorrow, which is where I'm going back to finish right after this. So I'm going to try to do 2 episodes really quickly, back to back here. But the gyoza at the convenience stores, though, I do think, this is the Family Mart one. I think that the 7-Eleven one wins hands down. Though I think I got a picture of that here. Hold on. The 7-Eleven one was just better. I think the 7-Eleven one is the one in the thumbnail. It's just better. I don't know. And it uses all Japan ingredients, and I like that too. Juicy yaki gyoza is what's written there. 280 yen, fried pork gyozas, 302 with the tax, 302.4. And then you have the Family Mart one, which is right here, and you can see the price is what is it, 304 with the tax. There's 6 of them in there. They make sure that you can see 6, and it says it just says oniku no is it what is that called? Nomi yaki gyoza, just tasty dumplings. And it had pepper in there. I didn't a little bit goes a long way. I think they use too much. I believe it's the same, and it says all Japan ingredients, but I think that the meat in these gyoza were the same that's in their nikuman, or steamed dumplings or buns, and that's I can see why they would recycle it, but I don't know. For me, it's all about the making the gyoza fresh like this, and it seemed like 7-Eleven just had a better gyoza. Yeah. Darren is here. Thanks for catching me live. Where am I going to be this week? I talked about a meetup maybe next week before we go to the United States, but time is so short. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it, but if I do it, it's going to be in Ueno or Okachimachi, and I've done meetups there as well, because I got to get some stuff for the Daimyo supporters, which by the way, the Daimyo's group also has packages I send to people via the Patreon. So if you want to get one, I'll be sending the December ones around the 4th of December before we leave to the US. So if you want to join. By the way, there's a Black Friday sale. I don't usually do this has been on sale for quite a long time, and we have about 100 left, but we've had, I don't know, about 20 sold so far. So this is the hitchhiking Blu-ray from a trip. I went from Kagoshima to the tip of Hokkaido, the very south of, and to the north of Japan. It's about 2.5 hours, 171 minutes long. What is that? 2.5 hours, over 2.5 hours long. And it's got, it's fully edited like an Only in Japan episode. And it has a director's track on it. So it's got 2 audio tracks. One of them you can hear as I give you the background on what's going on. What am I feeling? What am I thinking? And then there's another track that's just the regular track. So it's like you could watch this twice. So it's like 6 hours of content, plus a couple of bonus episodes in there. 6 hours of Blu-ray content and map and pictures. And I think it's like $19.99, which is crazy. And it goes back up the price on the 27th, I believe. And the sale is going on now. I think if you buy 2, it's even cheaper, which is crazy. I just want to kind of sell these, get these out. But it's a nice stocking stuffer, perhaps. Maybe. Let's see if anybody buys it. We had about 20 sold so far in the last few days, which is makes me really happy. 2 cents Japan. Hopefully I do catch you though when you come to Japan here, and I'll try to catch you on try to catch me when I go live. I try to do notifications on Discord and on Patreon, so you get an idea. I don't think I put this on Patreon though. Sorry to my Patreon support. I will do that tomorrow, but I do think the support is very much appreciated, and we have, I don't know, what is it? We had like 1,200 people on the Patreon the last time I checked, and we had about, wow, I don't know, it's a few hundred postcard club members. So I'm just so thankful for that. I love to send the postcards to see the addresses Argentina, Greenland, South Africa. I think we have one from Nigeria and Ethiopia too. Like, these are places, like, I can't believe that this is going to like Africa and South India and Nepal. We have Indonesia, Satrios over there, all over Australia and the UK. Nobody in France. We used to have a couple in France. A ton in Germany. We have about 25 Patreon Postcard Club members in Germany. We've got somebody in Slovakia, in the Czech Republic, Romania, which is awesome. You know, so hopefully we can get it even to Antarctica, which would be cool. So I love to send these postcards. The one to Greenland is just so cool because every time I take it in there, they go, Greenland. The post office just stops and thinks about it for a second. Polar bears. Very cool. Thanks for the support, guys. I'll see you in the next episode tomorrow as I take you to another place around Tokyo. Wait a second. Yes, I know I'm taking you tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun. You're definitely going to want to tune in tomorrow. Leo and Kanai are coming with me too, so it should be a pretty good event. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Mata ne. Here's the sky tree. Check it out for the last couple of seconds. And definitely watch the gyoza video and leave me a comment. I'll check it later on this afternoon and maybe reply to you if you do. I really do appreciate leaving the comments on the video. Mata ne.